My relationship to rainbows goes way back before the whole alphabet soup thing. I was a child of the 70s, and the original Muppet movie from 1979 was one of my all time favorites. I still love that song, Rainbow Connection, to this day. It was even the official song of Nottingham Elementary School in Arlington, Virginia, where I worked my way up to a gig as the library reporter on the school's cable access show. I reported on any important announcements from the library and also did some book reviews. Unfortunately, I don't think I ever made eye contact with the camera, which might explain why my media career went dormant for years after that. So, yeah, I had an early connection with rainbows, but I was also really into pop culture. Enter Dynamite Magazine. I was a huge fan of Dynamite. I begged my parents to let me subscribe to it. At first, they said no because I could just read it at the library. But I begged and begged because I wanted to take out the poster from the middle and put it on my wall. They finally relented. Side note, the first Dynamite Magazine centerfold to hit my wall was a young, hot Rick Springfield. I kissed that poster every day until one day I noticed his mouth was starting to fade. Busted. So I swapped him out for Ricky Schroeder and I never kissed a poster again. Well, maybe except once on mushrooms. Anyway, according to my memory, which probably can't be trusted 45 years after the fact, I remember reading Dynamite Magazine and seeing an article about a rainbow man. He was some guy living in a wood cabin who had a passionate obsession with rainbows. He felt so much joy whenever he saw a rainbow that he decided to spread this joy wherever he went to whoever was open to it. He even invited anyone to mail him a self addressed stamped envelope and he would mail them back a rainbow. So, of course, I sent him the envelope, and sure enough, he sent me a rainbow sticker. I was so excited. I wish I could remember his name, but it's almost impossible to track down eccentrics who peaked before the age of the internet in the 90s. Looking back, I think he was onto something. The world can be a pretty grim place, and sometimes you need someone, even a random guy in a cabin, to remind you that joy still exists. That's what I hope this podcast can be in its own way. A reminder that no matter how dark it gets, there's always light waiting to break through. So clearly, rainbows have been showing up for me in weird and wonderful ways for as long as I can remember. But just as much as I loved light and color, I was equally drawn to the dark. So even though I had this positive relationship with rainbows, I had an equally positive relationship with the color black. I still remember the day sitting in the front row of the school bus when someone asked Rick, the bus driver, what his favorite color was. Without missing a beat, he said, black. The kid who asked the question was incredulous. Nobody's favorite color is black. You're not allowed to pick black. But Rick held his ground. Well, that's my favorite color. It's black. I just sat there with my mental mouth wide open. Are you really allowed to choose black as your favorite color? I decided right there and then that my favorite color would also be black. I guess that this is my long way of saying that I've always been interested in the dark and the light. And for the record, Rick, the bus driver, was one of the kindest adults I knew at the time, and he was so funny, but in a way that I would later learn was called dark humor. So I am here for that, and if you like your rainbows served with a side of dark, then you are in the right place. If you have a rainbow story, drop it in the comments.